So I've been using HighLevel for 5 years now, and I thought I knew every tool, every hack, every integration out there until I found this tool. And honestly, it's been insane to document systems, deliver to clients, and it can even influence how much you can charge because it positions you as an authority and not just a high-level builder, but a systems architect. If you're using HighLevel and you're not using this tool, you're leaving money on the table. So let me show you. Now, this is not a high-level alternative. It's not a competitor. It's a complement to everything, especially for documentation of the systems that you build. So let's be clear there. And it only makes HighLevel 10x more powerful, more strong, etc. So let's dive in. So here's the problem that I see. HighLevel is the backbone of my agency, but there are a few gaps, and I've been using it for a while. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So the first thing, it's very, very complex for beginners, for people that have no experience using a CRM. It does everything, but at the same time, it does too much. So documenting all the system, how it works together, workflows, funnels, forms, calendars, it can be a nightmare. So how do you show clients what you built for them or how they can train their team to use their system? So most of us have resorted to in the past emails with screenshots. As you can see here, is one of the most common ways I've delivered a client project, is sending an email to the client with the screenshots of what we have done. We have also put links of the work we have done. However, I realized clients don't want to read any of it. Unfortunately, like clients don't want more work. They just want to make sure it works and have minimal inputs themselves. But at the same time, they also want to make sure their team understands the work done, and they don't want to read PDFs and they don't want to learn HighLevel. So how do we accomplish this in the shortest amount of time and make it as easy as possible for them? So another thing I've tried and it hasn't been successful is a PDF with walkthrough of everything. For example, for this client, do-it-yourself package, done-for-you package, done-for-you add-ons, core sales template, book a call, etc. But I've also realized that this is not a way to visualize the entire customer journey. So the way everything flows, funnel, workflow, calendar, automation. So if your client looks at this, and I've tried, they're lost. Another thing is the professional presentation. So if you're charging 3K, 5K, 10K for a snapshot or a custom build, you need to look premium. And nowadays in 2026, a Google Doc, a PDF, a sheet doesn't make the cut anymore. You need to look sophisticated. You need to look like you say, well, this guy knows what he's doing. Now, if you're scaling and bringing, let's say, a virtual assistant or VAs or team members, how do you get them up to speed in the client accounts? More PDFs, more Looms. Unfortunately, that is not the solution. So introducing Lovable. So what is Lovable? You might be thinking, another SaaS tool I have to pay for. Let me explain what exactly it is and why it's perfect for high-level users. So Lovable is a no-code or low-code platform that lets you build interactive web applications, components, and tools without needing to be a developer. This is called vibe coding, where you can program something by just writing a prompt over here. So the way Lovable works, it gives you this interactive chat, which is like ChatGPT, where you can ask, hey, I want to build a custom dashboard, etc. Now, here's something that happens with Lovable. What you can use with Lovable, if you can use Canva, you can use Lovable. But instead of creating graphics, what I recommend is creating interactive, clickable, functional tools. So why does this matter? Why does this matter for high-level users? Because you can build custom client-facing assets that HighLevel does not provide. For example, interactive system documentations, visual flowcharts that show the entire customer journey, clickable dashboards. Let me show you some examples here. So here's one of the things that I built in Lovable. I built a health log to track my goals, nutrition, sleep, workout, and on top of that comes with a dashboard. Here's one of the most important things you can build with Lovable is dashboards for your clients. Now, how is this relevant to HighLevel? Because everything that you build is embeddable. So you can publish it, and when you're here and you publish it, the link this link can be embedded as a custom menu, and I'm going to explain that later in the video. So, related to your client deliverables, as you can see here, what I did using Lovable is I built a complete high-level setup, funnels, workflows, calendars, automations, the whole thing. But instead of a PDF or instead of Loom videos, etc., what I did is an interactive flow chart in Lovable that maps out their entire system visually. So I'm showing you here how this looks like. The way it looks like, it's, first of all, the client can click and access the origin sub-account for their snapshot. They can click to view the other snapshots, and they can see how everything works. So which are the workflows, which are the funnels, which are the lead entry points, how the customer journey works, and the AI, all in one. And the best part is that they can also see what type of workflow everything is: lead nurture, appointment, system, re-engagement. And if they click, they can click on the workflow itself. So how did I build this? Let me explain. So instead of what I was doing before, which was a PDF where all the links were there, by the way, you always need to document what you're doing. Whether you use ClickUp or Asana or Notion, your team needs to know what links belong to a project: funnels, workflows, calendars, etc. In this case, what we did is we documented all the workflows that we built for this client: opted in but didn't book, visited landing page, opened your email, attended a call, didn't move forward, etc. And what we ask Lovable, funnel preview link, configuration, calendar link, the packages, etc. So we threw this into Lovable. And what Lovable did is it created an interactive dashboard for this. Now, if you don't like what Lovable is doing, you can ask Lovable, to do anything you want. Like, you can ask to add more, different colors, etc. So everything is customizable in Lovable. So the way Lovable works is in this button over here, you're going to see the preview, so how it looks. Now, here you're going to see the code. So in the code icon, you're going to see which code elements compose this interactive flowchart. And then you can download any element that you want. For example, the source components here. Anything you can download. You can reformat code. Again, I'm not a developer, so I'm vibe coding. I don't know exactly. I couldn't create this code from scratch, but I can prompt Lovable to create the code that then looks the way I like. Now, the best part is that you can also edit visually. So you can edit Lovable by giving some prompts. You can reference GitHub. You can connect with other tools. You can take a screenshot, a reference, attach files, or you can also do visual edits. So if you click here on design, you can click and add visual edits. So for example, this button over here. Again, I don't really want to make any change right now, but if I wanted to, this text, for example, right? The text color, I could change it to black. Now I don't want it. I want it to be white. And I want to discard these changes because I don't want to, I don't want those changes. I prefer the way it was before. But that's just an example of the things you can do with Lovable. It becomes very, very intuitive once you have done at least one project with it. So how do you get started with Lovable? I'm going to drop a link in the description so you can, get started with it. And what you need to do is very, very easy. You just head to lovable.dev, or you can just search Google Lovable. You can start for free or with a trial to test it out. So what plan do I have here? So in Lovable, I'm in the Pro plan. And so for $50 a month, you get 200 credits. For 200 credits a month, I'm going to show you what that gets you. So for $50 a month, you get 200 credits. So the way credits work is as you use the platform, more credits are used. Now for $25 a month, which is the current plan I'm in, You get 100 credits a month, and the good thing is that credit rollovers. So for a month, up to 100 credits roll over. For example, I didn't use any of the credits last month, so my credits rolled over. Now, in total, right now, I have, I'm using my rollover credits. So I have now a total of 80.5 rollover credits plus 100 of my monthly credits. Now, everything is usage-based when it comes to the cloud and AI. So if you want to store information, I'm going to do another video on that because I have another tool I've built where I'm doing this. Everything is usage-based. Now, you can do custom domains, unlimited lovable lab domains, and you can remove the lovable batch once it's published, and user roles and permissions. Now, the most important thing here in Lovable in relation to HighLevel is that as I'm saying it, you can custom embed, and I'm going to show you how to do this so your client doesn't know where this is hosted. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on publish. Once you click on publish, Lovable is going to generate a custom domain for this specific project. Now you can put your own domain, so you can also edit the domain, or you can add a custom domain. Because Lovable is also designed for websites and funnels. Now you can put who can visit the URL, anyone or just anyone in your workspace. Now, once you have the funnel here in Lovable, I'm going to show you what you can do. So this thing over here, you can then copy the link, and then you're going to go to your HighLevel account. You're going to go to the agency view. And by the way, if you don't have access to this for a client, you're not able to do it. But it's amazing if you have a SaaS, if you have your own SaaS platform, this is fantastic. So you would go to the settings in the agency view. You would go to custom menu links. And in custom menu links, you would create then a new. Then you select your icon, anything you want, link title, for example, I'm going to call it snapshot guide. Then I'm going to drop the link URL from Lovable. And once I'm done, I'm going to decide if you want this to be opened within the current window as an embedded page iframe. Do you want to open in a new tab, or do you want to open in current window? I think it's more impressive when it's embedded because the client doesn't have to leave somewhere else. Now, sidebar preference. Do you want this in the whole agency or just one sub account? I want, in this case, one sub account. I'm going to select my account over here and then role-based visibility all. So once I save it and I go back to my sub account, and here we go. So if you see the left bar, now I have a custom menu called the snapshot guide, and this is the Lovable embed. So this looks like it's inside of HighLevel. So unless the client knows that this is Lovable, you can even tell them it's a funnel inside of HighLevel. Now I disclose, I build on Lovable, I don't hide it. But at the end of the day, what clients care is the customer experience. So you don't want to give a lot of links to different things. You want everything to keep inside one place as much as humanly possible. Now, if this video is helpful and you want help building your own Lovable app, I actually have a community where we do 2 calls a week. All the calls are being recorded and posted in the community. And we cover multiple topics. For example, we've built a client funnel. We've built a client Spanish voice AI. I have more than 30 plus hours of automation courses, including perfect onboarding, systems to scale, workflows A to C, 5-minute webinars, basics of HighLevel, how to fix any issue, digital tech toolbox, troubleshooting, and more. In my opinion, this is one of the best ways to learn HighLevel. And on top of that, you have unlimited Q&A. So all your questions and answers are going to be answered by me personally in the community. You can also send me a message. So if this is something you're interested in, check the description below. And there's 2 ways to join. You can pay me $97 a month, which is what it costs standalone, or you can be my HighLevel affiliate in the unlimited plan or above. Or you can also upgrade if you are in the basic plan. If you upgrade to the unlimited plan or the pro plan under me, you get full access to all of these resources. And if you come to the calls and you bring me your Lovable app, I'm going to make sure I can personally build you your first Lovable app.